I do. I think you're getting an early Christmas gift with this sell-off right here on Friday and today. It may extend into the middle of this week. But the old stock market saw is if Santa fails to call, the bears will roam on Broad and Wall. It didn't play last year. You'll recall that retail sales were actually hurt a little bit with the 20% decline from October into, we actually identified that decline in early October, as well as the bottom in late December. I think you're going to get better than expected retail sales because you're not getting a 20% decline in the equity markets.
Paul, you think that small caps are the ones to watch here, that they're overdue for a catch-up?
Yeah, they've lagged for a while here. We're starting to see better performance from the small caps. Just today, on prior days when you see doubts about trade or China-related headlines, small caps get killed relative to large caps. Today, they're underperforming by a little bit, but lately when we've seen these trade headlines come up the last few days, small caps haven't been as poorly hurt. Their relative strength has also started to show a turn here. So I think if we do start to see, manufacturing, notwithstanding today's weak ISM manufacturing, we think it's going to stabilize at least at these current levels, and I think that'll be good for the small cap space in general.
The Russell 2000 had what they call a golden cross 2 weeks ago on November 5th, where the 50-day crossed above the 200-day. And if you look at the flow of funds going into the retail sector, I think the small cap stocks have a lot more to run here.
In terms of the broader trade headlines that you both mentioned, I mean, clearly we haven't had incrementally positive headlines over the last couple of days or the last week, but provided the December 15th tariffs don't go into effect and we get confirmation that they're going to get delayed, does it matter if phase one is signed? Can the market rally in December in that scenario, Jeff?
I think it can. I think that the trade talks with China have hit a stall because of the bill that was signed, the Human Rights Bill. I lived in D.C. I'm still pretty connected in the D.C. Beltway. And I'm not sure whether the trade tariffs are going to go into effect or not, but I don't think there's going to be a phase one this year.
Paul, in fact, when you're talking about the small cap stocks, you're saying that it's important that they start discounting these trade headlines. But why would they?
Well, so, I mean, throughout this entire period, the small caps have been, disproportionately negatively impacted by any day there's been over the past 18 months.
So why would that change now? Why would the market start discounting now?
Well, I think you're starting to see the market maybe sense that, we're at a level where things aren't going to get any worse. Maybe we will see a delay in the December 15th headlines. And to Jeff's point earlier about, say, a golden cross for the Russell 2000, normally in most cases a golden cross, that formation doesn't really have a lot of predictability. In the case of the small caps, though, I mean, a year following, it's much better than average returns for small caps. Gains, I think, 80% of the time over the next year.
Jeff, you said you've got an early Christmas present and a buying opportunity with the pullback. Where would you put money to work for the short-term investor, just looking for the rest of this year?
I still like technology, and I like financials. I think financials are cheap, and my father used to tell me good things tend to happen to cheap stocks. I like the energy complex. It's only up 5% on the year, according to the S&P 500 energy component. I particularly like believe it or not, the midstream master limited partnerships. And I think the small caps are getting a January effect in December.
And Paul, for you, are you looking for particular stocks that might go on your tax loss bounce list?
I think we haven't really been playing that angle particularly much, but I think on the course of getting to a sector basis, I would agree with Jeff on financials. I think the financial sector, we've been seeing much better performance from these names in the internals, and the large cap financials after the big banks this earnings season really broke out of what have been like multi-year consolidation phases. They have the room to raise their dividend payments. They have better than average yields already, and they have the ability and the green light, so to speak, from the Fed to incrementally raise those dividend yields.